Hello and welcome back to the Sound Mind podcast. It's the first episode of 2026. Karibuni sana. I know you guys have been asking nimepotelea wapi, but today we have decided to do the interview. So in case you're new here, please subscribe to this channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell so that you can be notified every time we have come with a new video. And to those who are returning subscriber, thank you for always coming back to see what we're doing. It's 2026, guys, and today we are joined with us by a very important guest. She's very important to me. I want to hold Kenyans because I know what she has been doing, and I just decided to take this chance to host her. We have a little conversation about the things that she does, and also I want us to know about the things that are going on in our country, because I believe she's one of the important people in this space of leadership and governance. Bila kupoteza time, let me just take this chance to introduce the one and only. I'm not going to mention the name, please do.
Thank you so much, Nerima, Wako, and so happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Karibu sana. And for me, I'm Nancy Oshira, your host every day. Karibuni sana. So Nerima, uko tayari?
Niko ready.
Uko ready? Najua every time unakuwa ready.
Lazima.
Kabisa. I like that spirit, by the way.
Thank you.
Waga unani-inspire. So many people know your work, but not your journey.
Yes.
I don't believe that people know your journey. So, like, who is Nerima Wako beyond the title? What shapes your interest in governance and leadership, and also in civic space?
So I would say that typically I'm a third born, so mimi ni mtoto wa katikati, and a lot of times growing up I have not really always been outspoken. Nitasema sana ilikuja wakati nilikuwa secondary school, but it's because I was bullied. So a lot of people don't know I was bullied. So mimi ni mdogo,
I know.
and I was even smaller back then. So imagine, I'm in my 30s and I'm this size. So I had to learn how to speak up because of bullies in school. So that's what I would say. But nilianza understand vitu za governance wakati nilikuwa miaka 10 hivi. I used to watch news with my dad.
Oh, okay.
So he thought it was a bit strange for that age. Nilikuwa naulizia maswali kuhusu dunia, vile vita zinaendelea, vitu za economy, biashara. So he was like, okay, for a 10-year-old, you're a little strange. So that interest came mapema. But I really thought I wanted to be a journalist. So I did journalism. And I was very happy. I was flourishing in school. Nilipita vizuri, nikapata degree in journalism. But I just felt like something more. So I would say ilianzia wakati wa uni, wakati nilimaliza shule, nilikuwa nafanya internship. And I was doing my internship in DC. And that's where I started learning about diplomacy, development, vitu kuhusu vijana, what are young people doing around that. And Siasa place, that's where now it started, where I really wanted a space for young people to engage in politics. And politics hiyo siasa ya kusimama mbele ya watu kwa baraza kutusiana, ni hiyo siasa ya kuelewa policies, vile watu wanajadiliana ndani ya bunge, resources. I wanted people to understand that aspect, how a representation makes a difference. And it started online. So ilianzia kwa mitandao, tulianza Twitter, sasa inaitwa X. Na tulikuwa tunauliza maswali tu, like, what do you guys think about where the country is going? And from that, ikagrow, ikakuwa sasa NGO.
Okay, so were you trying to fill any gap when you starting Siasa place?
Good question. I was trying to fill a big gap. Unajua nilirudi na kiherehere.
Au kuogopa watu wakisikia siasa watasema this woman sasa anataka kujiingiza kwa vita.
By the way, waliogopa. At first we didn't get the certificates. Tulijaribu mara 3. The NGO board walikataza hiyo jina kwa sababu walisema hizi vitu za siasa unafaa kuregister kwa political parties. Sio kwa NGO. But tulikataa kubadilisha jina. Actually mimi ndio nilikuwa nataka kubadilisha jina, but my other friends were like, why are they refusing you to keep the name, So kutoka kitambo tulielewa kwamba vitu za siasa vijana kuna systemic barriers that keep young people away from politics.
Yes.
And I would say that there are still some institutions that don't allow my organization because of the name. They're like, no, we don't work with political parties. They've not understood what we stand for. So I'm still not allowed in some campuses. But currently, people have grown to understand the work that we do and have accepted us much more.
For that person who do not know what Siasa Place is, can you try to elaborate and tell them what you do, what Siasa Place is composed of, and what you're aspiring to do in general?
Yeah, absolutely. So Siasa Place formed in 2015. I would say sisi ni kikundi cha vijana, so most people are below the age of 35.
Okay.
And we push for the education of young people. Waelewe katiba, role yao, the roles ya viongozi ni muhimu kwetu. And what we hope to see is young people participating in constitutionally provided avenues, yani kwa public participation, kwa town hall, kwa mabaraza, wakiuliza maswali, wakijadiliana na viongozi. So things like that is what we hope to see. And we use a lot of social media to do that. And I would say that we strengthen communities to do that. So sisi sio zile manjio unaona alika watu kuja kwa mkutano alafu watu hawajaelewa kitu, wamekuja kwa sababu labda watapatiwa transport.
Kitu ya
yes.
Maokoto.
Yes.
Okay.
Sisi ni wale watu wa CBOs, tunafanya kazi sana na ma-CBO. Juu wao ndo wanaishi kwa hiyo community, wao ndo wanaelewa mashida za hizo community na kuwasaidia wale ma-NGO ama CBO kufanya kazi yao. So I would say that's our role.
So in short, mna voice out zile challenges ziko kwa community, mnaleta into action using sasa resident wa your place.
Yes, kabisa. So issues kama access to water, access to health, sasa afya sasa ni kitu kubwa juu hakuna hospitali, hakuna madawa kwa hospitali, or access to education. So tuko na program inaitwa Msomi Mnyonge, and most recently siasa ya ID, kwa sababu saizi watu wanaongelea voters card, lakini kuna watu wengi hawana hiyo ID kupata hiyo voters card. Na ID pia inamaanisha hauna kazi. Yani it's opportunities. If you don't have the most basic thing to show your identity for even a job, inamaanisha kuna watu hapa wanaishi, you know, bila access to any opportunity.
I really like how you come up with names zenye zina directly zinaongelea kuhusu the solutions that you solve. Example, tukiongelea kuhusu Msomi Mnyonge, I've seen this program and it's really doing so well, because unapata kwamba some places watoto wanatoka mbali ku access this education, and I think one of the basic things zenye tunafaa kwa tuna enjoy as Kenyans ni education. Yet kuna places unapata kwamba like accessing education too, it's a problem. And where do you want these people to be in the next coming century? Because ni sawa, we are living at a time, but sasa what about the coming days? So I saw one that you did in Kitui, and the community itself wakajitokeza, wakajenga shule. So that was an amazing one. How do you feel about such a thing?
It honestly makes me so happy to see the community take their lives into their own hands, to care enough to say, you know what, we deserve better. That's dignity to me, which is very, very key in our constitution, because it gives us so much power. And sometimes I go to places, I'm even tearing up, sometimes I go to places, hospitals of all places, where you're already vulnerable.
Yes.
And there's just no water. There's, you know, this heavy burden on the family to provide for things. Yet there's this facility that's being funded to take care of you. And that's how I feel about our schools. And that's why tunasema Msomi Mnyonge, because the child is already vulnerable. And you come and you take from this vulnerable child again. So you take from the sick, you take from children. It's punishing. So to see the community understanding how important representatives are and their roles, it makes a huge difference almost overnight for someone to realize I deserve better and I can make sure that happens.
And I feel like with this discrimination, it's like people, especially people in mashinani, have normalized like tunafaa tu tuishi hivi. Yet these people wako na viongozi, wako na like they have everything, they have resources, wako na viongozi, lakini wame normalize like sisi juu ni maskini, we should just live like this. But with that, with that project of Kitui, it was very eye opening. I saw the community being happy. Nikatu mliwafungua akili wakaona, hey, we are not supposed to be like this. At least like tunafaa tujiongelele and we have to embrace what we have. And also it was also good to reflect that as a community, change starts with us. Because actually by them wanting to come and start the school by themselves, it was a good one. Kama tu vile unaona someone like Eric Omondi doing it, like sisi kwa sisi, you get like anakuja anaambia watu like hii project ni yetu, how can we own it? And it's good because when the community owns a project, it's very hard for them kuifanya eti kuiharibu, because hii ni project yetu tumefanya sisi wenyewe at least. But I feel like pia the government is failing at some point.
It is, and it's failing because the whole idea of devolution,
yes,
is to make sure resources get to the ground. Sasa kitu tumefanya is to spread ufisadi na ubaguzi, and that for me is a huge worry, because we cannot continue to just blame one position, and that is the presidency. The county governments have roles to play, the assemblies, the governors, the MCAs, and we as Kenyan people,
yes,
we need to hold them to account. I feel that's going to be the next phase for Kenya. Young people have to hold government to account. So wakati mkisikia watu wanasema wanataka kusimama, wanafaa kuogopa wananchi, juu ya kwamba wanajua lazima ni wajibu hao watu wakiniuliza maswali.
Okay, ni kuogopa ama ni kuheshimu?
Ni kuogopa, wanafaa kuogopa. Yes, I think it is fear. Yeah, because you're fearing, am I going to be able to fulfill these promises that I have made?
Yes.
There should be a genuine fear, because tukiongea juu ya heshima, sometimes we have a culture of even respecting our elders, even when they are wrong. There's a lot of ageism in our culture.
True.
And someone like me or you, for instance, there's some places where hatuwezi ongea kwa mkutano kwa sababu sisi ni wanawake. Alafu ni watu wenye kama una mtoto, even worse. If you're not married, even worse. Yeah, alafu naambiwa hiyo ni heshima. So I would say it has to be a fear, a recognition of the role that you play.
Yeah, and let us come at the projects by the name Tuko Kadi. Hii yenye meanzisha juzi. Nimeona watu wengi wakisema kwamba you're doing that because you have political interest. Wengine wanasema the propaganda is going around is that you've been funded to do that. So you're doing that for your own interest and not for the interest of the people. So how do you respond to such propagandas?
You know, sometimes I do think Kenyans criticize non-public government officials so harshly. I wish they would ask those questions to politicians we actually fund. People we actually pay taxpayer money. We should ask them those questions. So, you never elected me. So why do you feel so keen on my spending? You know, like, ni kama umeingia kwa nyumba yangu kuniuliza, wewe unakula hii kwa nini? Mbona umenunua bacon na hii pesa yako? Like, mbona unanisumbua na pesa zangu? That's one. So I would tell Kenya people to focus on the real issue. And the real issue here is there are people who have budgets to actually do this work. Mbona usumbui IBC? Mbona ufuatili kesi za IBC? Na kwa bajeti yao wanasema kwamba wanatumia bilioni 2 daily. Mbona hakuna kelele hapo? Unasumbia watu wa Tuko Kadi. So that's one. I think there's a strong biasness that is just ridiculous to me. And secondly, Tuko Kadi is a youth-led initiative. I feel kina Demba, Oeba, kina Shakira, they've done an amazing job
Sure.
in terms of them as citizens just getting out of their way and saying, let's encourage people to participate.
Yeah.
And there are people of goodwill who have sent them resource. And those are people who are saying, I think you're doing a good job. You're doing a job better than an institution that has been paid to do this job.
Sure.
And I would say that propaganda would always be there, because remember, you're talking about a group that has come out of nowhere and registered or supported to register 1 million plus. Do you know how that changes the game politically?
Sure.
Inawasumbua. Sasa wanasema hao milioni moja wanaenda wapi? Watapigia kura wapi? Wametoka wapi? Like, they feel like 1 million is too large a number for new entrants into the game. It actually gives politicians more work because they have to convince. Remember, even 2022, we had 8 million people, almost 8 million, who didn't engage. Yani walikuwa millennials, walipata voters card,
Yes.
lakini hawakuenda kupiga kura.
Yeah. And is it the work of the government to educate people about voting?
It is the work of the government.
But they don't.
They don't. They're not.
Because actually, I've not seen it around.
Thank you.
The only people who are doing this are CBOs, NGOs.
Correct.
Yes.
So those are the questions we should be asking. So when people
and the money is
here,
there to do that work.
Yes.
Okay.
They are mandated to do that work. They have budgets to do that work, but they're just not doing that work. And the Kenyan people are busy yelling and shouting at CBOs and NGOs who are. So I would say we have our anger misplaced, but you can't really blame Kenyans because it has been decades of calling civil society evil society. This is a narrative that has been framed this way because the same people who are shouting that people are being paid to do this, the resources that we would get from donors are the same resources that you will see on their website supporting government.
Okay.
Government is supported more than 50% by donor money.
Okay.
Yeah. So why are you not asking?
I think that is one thing that people do not know.
No, the same. You will go to all of their websites.
Yeah, things like World Bank supporting the
thank you.
government.
So mbona usumbui World Bank? Mbona usumbui World Bank? When you hear people saying they are paid from foreign, Western, but your own government is paid by Western. It's our taxes and Western monies. So I feel like there's a lot of re-education that needs to occur. And people need to understand that these resources they're fighting over, it's a propaganda that has been used by government for several years to minimize the work that's being done by people who are passionate by the community. So we move forward, we ignore the propaganda because we understand the work that we do and the communities that benefit from the work that we do.
And with that, before we continue with Nikokadi project and what you're aspiring to do, what is your perspective, an honest answer about how people say the human rights defenders are funded and they're just puppet of the Western people? That's why you see them making noise, but the moment the government pays them money, they quit and they start working for the government. Is that even true? Like, how does someone become a human rights defender, and who is that true human rights defender? Because honestly we have seen such people. Mtu anaenda anapiga kelele huko, mtu kama tuseme mfano, let me use Willy Oeba, he's my friend. I know you won't feel bad. Willy anaendaga kwa gari, ana mobilize people trying to give them that civic education. Again, upate sasa mtu kama Willy has been doing this for some time. Alafu sasa serikali kimwona anawapiga sana, wanampatia pesa, and you find sasa, it's just an example. I know Willy cannot quit. Yeye atoke aende sasa anze kutetea serikali. Does it mean that a human rights defender can be affected by the government, like kuwapatia pesa wana quit, ama who is a real human rights defender?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Someone like Willy is a very solid person. And I normally wonder, like, at what point do we remove the human rights title? Because when you say a human rights defender, Martha Karua is a human rights defender. Kivuta Kibwana is a human rights defender. James Orengo is a human rights defender. Raila Odinga was a human rights defender. So sielewangi sana, you know, when Kenyans or people online, because it's mostly online, when they bring that example, it's like they forget a lot of the opposition leaders come from human rights spaces. They were in civil society first. They were activists.
Yeah, sure, by the way.
Yeah. So I feel so disconnected from that reasoning. Because there are countries where, and even Denmark is an example, activists are elected. Kenya is one of the places where we demonize them so much. But in other countries, it is activists who are put on the ballot. People are like, Sasa, you're fighting out here. What tukuweke ndani? So you fight better for us inside. It is only Kenya, it is the opposite. Kenya, we will demonize the people who are fighting for us, but the people who are stealing from us, ndo tunawaweka ndani. Haraka na mapema. Make that make sense to me. So for me, I'm normally shocked when we see politicians who are gang leaders. Watu wenye tunajua wako na magoons. People tunajua wameiba, wameua. Na wameua, they have shot people dead. Na tunajua. Na tunapigia kura. My God. Kenyans, like, by the time you're coming and disturbing me, human rights defenders. I'm like, but you're here, you're electing murderers. You're electing gang leaders. You're electing mafia. Unanisumbua nini? Unanisumbua nini?
Okay, usiwe na hasira.
Yeah. Are you understanding, Nancy?
Yeah, I'm understanding it. So, na hii target yenu sasa niko kadi. What do you want to do with the project? Ama what is it all about? Mna aspire kufanya nini? Ama mnataka kutimiza mambo gani kupitia hii niko kadi project? Because hata sasa politician wameanza kutumia niko kadi.
Yeah.
Mtu anasimama anasema niko kadi just because sasa yeye anataka kusimama niko kadi na mtu fulani, you get?
Yeah.
Like sasa hiyo jina imetumika in many different ways. Nyinyi mkiitumia ama the Gen Z wakiitumia and whatever the people you mentor, mnamaanisha nini na target yenu ni gani?
We want people to participate. Target ni the turnout to be high. Unajua ukiangalia elections za 2022 na 2017 tunaona decline. In 2022 about 60 something % wali participate. Hatutaki kuona in 2027 participation is at 50%. Inaendelea ku decline. Na sana sana ni vijana hawatokei kupiga kura. That is a worry for us because when you have the majority population not making decisions for themselves, you will have the minority making those decisions for you. Alafu wakati wale watu wameingia kwenye bunge ndo tunaanza kupiga kelele because we are like, this person, they are not knowing what they are doing, but you never chose the person who did. So for us, it's about people coming out. Na kuna picha niliona kwa WhatsApp group ya kazi, mtu alituma, that really made sense to me. It is a picture, na ilikuwa picha ya inzi, na walikuwa napiga kura, and they were voting for insecticide. Because they didn't want the other person. Unajua venye watu wanasema, sisi tunataka must go aende kabisa. Hata kama ni ngombe, hata kama ni chura.
Hatujui tunachagua nani.
Tunachagua, but must go. It's actually very scary. Because even in that picture, it showed how the flies were thinking the same thing. Anything but voting for this person. Sisi, we will vote for insecticide. So the flies, the cockroaches who didn't even vote, all died.
Afadhali watu
yeah, all died.
Other person
yes.
tunamjua.
Because the insecticide was voted in.
But it's known for the longest time that tunapiga kelele, lakini ikifika ni time ya election, wazee ndio wana decide. Mnaitwa nyumbani, kama mimi familia yangu inaniita nyumbani, and then my dad decide tunavotia mtu fulani. So how are you ensuring that this time young people will have that voice to stand up for themselves? Like mimi nikiitwa na babangu aniambie, I want you to vote for so and so, nimwambie hapana, I know my candidate and I will vote for this person. How are you ensuring that these things are not going to change? Because we're good at speaking, but ikikuja implementation, sisi vijana tuna fail.
No, I get that. And that is actually a huge culture challenge.
Okay.
Yes, it is. But also, I am seeing some changes in culture. Unajua siku hizi ukiona kwa burials, yani mazishi.
Yeah.
You're seeing family members saying the truth.
I am.
Yo.
I like that spirit. Yeah.
That spirit was not there.
Yeah,
we have always had that culture of some uncles or aunties taking advantage.
Wanatusomea.
Yes. Taking advantage. You know, they don't help with the funeral arrangements. Kila mtu anajua lakini hakuna mtu mwenye atasema kitu. But for us to sit the other way around, where people, yani wanaanikwa. You're just saying, this by the way, I'm not happy with this. Na sana sana ni majenzi. So I think that culture is changing, where people are like, no, things are not right, and I'm not going to keep quiet about it. So it's not a fast change, it's a slow change, but we can already see culturally how people are speaking up about dissatisfaction, which was not there before. So a cultural setting like a funeral can tell you that hii kitu imefika sasa kwa grau kabisa. And for me, that's what gives me hope. And I do believe that we are going to have some members who are not going to vote the way Father amesema, ama, you know, Uncle amesema.
I would really love to see that happening.
It's going to happen. Unfortunately, some homes are going to fight a lot. There are some people who are going to vote the other way, and they will probably never tell their family members.
Quran is serious.
Exactly.
Yes. You're not even supposed. Me feel like you're not even supposed to argue with this person when they say unafaa uvotie mtu fulani, and you know that that's not the best candidate. Nyamaza tu, kubali. Lakini unajua ukienda pale kwa ballot kona mtu wako, and then it's not going to be an issue. Yeah, and with this, let us come now to whatever you do. And now the digital space, it's not even safe for women, especially when you talk. There's a lot of misinformation, a lot of body shaming going online. So as a person, as a woman who has been in this space for the longest time, how do you make sure that your mental health is well? You can balance between your family, because
I don't look at comments.
Wingy comment section.
Seriously?
Serious.
I fall apart. Like, I have a cousin, her name is Miriam, amazing cousin. Nimemjua kutoka like utotoni kabisa.
Yes.
She's the one. She'll look at, she'll be like, the comments are mainly positive. The ones that are bad, nimezi-delete, nimezitoa. So me, I'm very weak-hearted when it comes to criticism. And it's also because I don't think we should all be made of iron. You know, the way people are like, siasa iko hivyo, lazima uzoe. Like, inamaanisha kama watu wana vuruga ama they in chaos or fighting in mud, you want me to also jump in the mud? I know. Some of us, we don't like mud, and I'm not going to enter the mud with you. Otherwise, you can't tell the difference. So I just find my own ways to deal with that. And I know they need to be better policies around that, because women are targeted more and bullied more. And I'm really worried about AI generated images. Yeah, because hata niliona kuna moja ya Hanifa walitoa buibui and things like that, you know, that, you know, people think it's a joke and it's funny, but it really, really, really harms women. We don't have any laws surrounding that, especially people who are not public figures, for instance, or elected figures. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done there. But our work as social media, because we do believe in digital advocacy, the internet, social media is so important for spreading information. We train a lot of CBOs on how they can monitor fake news, how they can verify, how communities can trust them as fact checkers. We also really, really try to engage politicians, not to continue with this violence online, rather report or even close down handles than for you to create this atmosphere of animosity. Because, you know, a lot of people forget that in 2012, a country like South Sudan went into war because of a Facebook post. So it's more than just talking things. For us, it can actually spiral into violence because of something somebody said about a certain community. So that's why I do believe we have to take the digital sphere very seriously.
Okay, talking of which, you've been so vocal, and a lot of people think that women who are very vocal cannot keep a family. So I want you to talk about it from your perspective, kwa sababu watu wanafikiria the moment mwanamke amekuwa vocal, amekuwa mjeuri, and that is why even the community, the African culture itself, do not allow women who are vocal, because they believe that women role yake ni kuwa to have a family, to take care of the husband. And do you how do you balance that with your family to make sure that you have that role? Do you when you want a role family? Amekaliwa na bibi yake, unaona vile wanapiga kelele.
I love that
young
question.
People might fear because they think that yani nikijitokeza nitakuwa sasa watu watanitumia kama mfano mbaya. A lot of people will be afraid to like have a family with me.
It's a genuine concern. I've actually
Yes.
had young women come and ask me that. And I do have a family. I have a husband. I have a son who's 5. And like now we're in Lamu, beautiful. But I've already, checked on my son, my family called. So it adds a lot of responsibility. So even though you are, front-facing public, a leader, you still have at the back of your mind, how is my family, how are things, just because of the way society is. So it's not easy, but I do have a partner who, he understands my work. So we're very good friends, and he's someone who I have to say I'm very lucky that he allows me to have my room. So we also agreed not to be, unajua kuna zile wale couples where you have to see them together, pictures together. Kuna hiyo pressure ya social media. You want to show that you have family, you are unit, mara you're doing this or this weekend. We have never been that couple. And we agreed very early not to put that pressure on ourselves. And I think that helped a lot.
Okay.
So we are very, very private as a couple. And I think that has helped us a lot. So we don't have to constantly have to give public updates about our relationship, about us, I think that would have added another layer of pressure I can't handle.
That's amazing. Like not a lot of people can balance that, and a lot of people think that they need to be seen like, kama Nerima is my wife, watu lazima wajue like I control her, kuna hizo vision. But that is really amazing. So for the interest of time, let's talk about the project that you have in mentoring the young leaders, the young politician that is wenye wako wana aspire to vie for seats in 2027. A lot of people, especially as young people, we fear just because we know politics is a game of money. Like you cannot go to convince people to elect you without money, and also like we need resources and we need support. So like how did you come up with that, and what is your target in that? Like basically just explain about it, please.
So I'm really encouraging especially young people, when I say young, below the age of 40, to run for office, simply because of what you mentioned, access to resource. There's one thing that young people have, and that's energy and time. They can make time. So it's about campaigning early, and that's why we're starting now in terms of their branding, how to articulate issues, how to connect with community members. So just making sure that we can guide them to do that, so they can be able to do the door-to-door now and get the public or community buy-in now. Because tumeona watu wakiingia without necessarily having that bankrolling, but it's because they were able to build a relationship of trust with the community. So it is right now an online platform where we have certain trainings once a month, and also being able to do activities together. Voter registration is one of them. I don't really care the party they run with. I feel different parts of this country have different kinds of politics, but the one thing that is important is that we all have the same umbrella, which is we want leadership of integrity, accountability, and constitutionalism. Vile nilisema, siasa place tunafundisha watu juu ya katiba. So understanding the rule of law is really important for these young people. So I hope 2027 we can get over 100 of them elected. That will be a dream for me across the board.
Are you like welcoming any youth that is willing to vie to your team?
Yes, a youth who is standing on integrity, accountability, and constitutionalism. Kama ni mtu mwenye ni goon. So if you're standing under those 3 pillars, very, very welcome. Please do join the network, but you have to understand that those are our values.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. So as we finish, I think we'll have a quick fire section with you. I would like to ask you, what keeps you going on the days that you feel overwhelming?
My faith, I'm a firm believer in Jesus Christ. God does, because I feel I have a higher calling.
On myth about civic education, what do you wish people will stop believing?
That it has to be so serious. I feel we have a lot of fun activities and people gain a lot, from tournaments to concerts, to fashion shows. You'd be surprised what people can gain from very informal engagements.
Advise a young girl who dreams to be in leadership but feels unseen, especially in a place like Lamu.
Wow, I like that question. It would be, know what you're passionate about, one, and start small. Because a lot of times I would not have thought that I would be able to get this far. I never thought about it. I just started with, I'm really passionate about social media, governance. Nikaanza tu pole pole tu. And it grew from there. So start small and believe in yourself. And also, if you can reach out to people who are within that space to even mentor you, to learn from them, start that way. But believe in yourself.
Thank you. And what is your final call to young people and women in leadership?
Don't have fear. I feel a lot of women, even before they speak, they're like, if they're in a forum, they've already told themselves, I don't even know what I'm saying. Acha sijui nitasema nini.
Yeah, sure.
Nitaanza kuongea aje ama nisiongee, wacha nikae tu. No, you know, that feeling, just do it in fear. Because even me sometimes, I'm really nervous in a lot of things, but huwezi ona. So we all do our things scared. Hakuna mtu hapa mbele ako like, mimi niko na confidence, mimi roho juu tu. Like, no. So do things scared. We're all scared with you.
Yeah, hata sisi kwa camera, but there is that fear of starting.
Well done.
Yeah,
Ona umefanya interview vizuri sana. In your fear, I beg.
Thank you. Kuna kwa tu na hiyo fear. Hey, and again, kuna ile like, what will people say about it? I'm about me when I do something. It really affects a lot of people.
Yeah, it affects all of us. And just find your way to cope. Vile nilikwambia mimi siwezi angalia kwa comments. If you know it gives you stress,
yeah, don't.
Eh?
Yeah.
So not all of us can do it. So it's just finding what your strengths are and how you manage them. We're all different. And I think that we should value those differences. So don't feel like you have to be like somebody else. Yeah, just be who you are and do things in fear.
Thank you. So never give up, never quit, and continue the same spirit. Thank you so much, Nerima, for having you today. And it was nice to, like, it was good for me to feel like, to hear that you're coming to Lamu. And then it was like, I have to look for Nerima. She cannot be going to all these televisions, making her name throughout the world. And then Lamu people do not recognize her.
Well done.
They have to, because you're really doing amazing work. And you're not only known in Kenya, but also worldwide. And one thing I like about you is that you do not give up. And another thing, you have that spirit of keeping going. And I do say you're my mentor. I know you don't see my Instagram story, but when I say, hey, my mentor, like when I see a clip that you posted, when I repost, and I'm like, my mentors really said this, because I really love how you do. Alafu sasa with yours, I'm not like trying to say you have a small body, but
I do.
With how you are, like unashanga hii courage anatoa wapi?
From the God.
Yeah. So that really motivates me, and I say, hey, I can do better like her. So like, I think like not only me, like a lot of people like that about you, especially young people. And I think it's one of the things that also makes people to know that you can always do something if you're consistent, and if you just have that spirit of doing it. So it's really amazing, and it's our honor to have you here in this channel. Karibu sana, and I would like to have so many of these.
Yes.
With you. Like anytime we are in Lamu, we can do something. I really appreciate your time. So guys, we have come to the conclusion of this interview. I hope you've enjoyed every part of this interview. And to those who never knew who Nerima Wako is, I'm very sure kufikia sahi mmejua kabisa Nerima ni nini anafanya, na sasa akija Lamu mtajua anakuja kufanya nini, because I expect people to love and embrace whatever we are doing, because she's just here to educate the community, and the community itself have embraced her presence. So like, let us support her in this journey. And thank you so much for being our good listener and being our audience. Until next time, kwaherini.